What up? We are here for our anchor message to launch us off into the week, to find out what our lessons are in Soul School. Hello, I'm Liz Taylor. This is our channel together here, Light, Love, Magic. I'm like holding my little crystal ball. I'm squatting on my couch, and I have to hide my crystal ball every day before I leave so that the sun doesn't beam right into it and cause a fire. So this is my public service announcement to all you witches out there. It's not the demons that cause the houses to catch a fire. It is the physics of the light coming through the sphere and then doing that whole like magnifying glass, burning something on the sidewalk thing. So always cover or hide. You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and keep those in the pillow for now. That'll be safe tomorrow when I'm leaving early. Which tomorrow, okay, so in the United States, tomorrow is the 4th of July. It's our Independence Day. And so, yeah, everybody is partying everywhere. We're setting off fireworks. We're drinking heavily. We are barbecuing. Our restaurant is closed, so we have all of our staff, or a lot of us, are going to go over to the lake, and we're going to paddle over to a fun little beach and do like a little picnic lounge drink day, and you can kind of see the fireworks from there. So it's going to be really fun. So I'm going to do our anchor message for tonight. Right after this, I'm going to film our Totally Tuesday manifestation reading. So I'm going to kind of keep them both brief because I know that you guys are going to go party too if you're in the US. And if you're not, then you have my full permission to make tomorrow a party day if you want. Just be in the spirit, be in the groove of it all. All right, you guys. So I really love our energy for the week. If you guys didn't see it on Sundays, I like to do... That's my oven. It's a baked potato warming up. So on Sundays, I do an energy oracle forecast for the week, and it gives us the general energy that we can expect to be in the conditions of as we move through the days ahead. On Mondays, we go in deeper and we do our anchor message, which is basically like our assignment from headquarters, from the universe. Like, what are our assignments this week? And so for the anchor message, I like to use Kim Kranz's archetypes, Wild Unknown Archetypes for our lessons, and then I clarify more with tarot cards. So we pulled for this week the Shaman. And if you didn't already go watch yesterday's energy forecast, like you should, it's a really good supplement for today to set you up for the context of how these are going to play out within the week. So we've got the Shaman, we have the Self, and we have the Creator, which, I mean, just even without the tarot cards immediately, it's just like such a positive message about deep transformation and spiritual revelation and, the awakening of this higher self. And, we've all been talking about this. And if you have been, watching these videos, we all know that like our higher self is sort of being activated in phases throughout this year. And every month there's sort of like these different experiences and initiations and, opportunities and whatnot. And so right now, this particular week is primed for a lot of progress, or a moment where even we are seeing and witnessing like the embodiment of our progress. It's not even like we're doing a process or like we're working hard to change. It's like this week we're kind of like able to see and witness and observe the transformation as it's occurring in our life in real time, which is amazing. So the Shaman is all about like being able, so that there's different elements that go into being the shaman. And one is that there has been this deep devotion to like long held and long-term study of spirituality, of healing, of transformation. And so this, even if you haven't been a studier or a practitioner of like spiritual alchemy and transformation and consciousness and whatever spiritual discipline you have, this can be just talking about learning from your life's experience and letting those change you and transform you in a positive way, even if you haven't had a specific discipline that you have adhered to, right? So this is just showing that over a long period of time, we have finally really transformed through all these years of study and experience. And the shaman is like, they really value healing. And they also value like sharing their experience and what they've learned with others to like for the benefit of like the healing of the planet and of mankind and others as well. So your healing is not only like, are you seeing the way that it's transforming your life, but it's also having a positive effect on people around you as well. That's how we can change the world. We kind of gloss over that quote by Gandhi, be the change you wish to see in the world. But that's really true. It's like when you look at the grand scheme of things, the problems are so huge that you, like as an individual, it's like you can't possibly take on the problems of the world. But if each individual took on their own transformation and healing, then the awakening and the enlightenment that would come from that, if we could embody that and start making conscious choices, thinking about how it affects the greater good and the greater whole. I was just out the other day and I try to do my best at just paying attention to like small things. And I was with a friend and we were going on an adventure, and we were gonna just grab some snacks to like take for the day. And I bought a single apple. And I got a produce bag, and I didn't have my like reusable bags with me. And then we got in the car, and like he pointed out, he was like, I guess we really didn't need this bag. And I was like, oh, I know. I wish you would have stopped me. I was like, I forgot myself. And I was like, but I don't like to put my produce on that thing because I'm afraid there's like dead chicken juice from the chicken packets. And he was like, fair enough. But then we tried to like reuse this bag as many times as we could. So yeah, I mean, even on an individual level, like, think about this. If you stopped buying hummus or salsa, right? Just that one product, and you devoted yourself, like, to making it from scratch. Like, and that's that thing that you eat, like, all the time. Like, depending on the ingredients you get, like, salsa is an easy one because you could potentially, like, grow your vegetables in the back or, like, go to the farmer's market or, like, bring bags to get the produce individually without the packaging, right? So if you could avoid the packaging, then you're just using the vegetables. All the plastic that you're cutting out, like that, like think about all of the energy that goes into just creating the plastic. Entire mega complexes, I'm sure, centered around the production of plastic. Then that has to be distributed and shipped somewhere. And there is a distribution center at corporate that has a whole building just for the people that have to wrangle the people who like have the trucks, right? And so there's just like these entire ecosystems. Then it's like, well, where are the labels? The labels on the packaging, those are probably made somewhere else. What about the glue that goes on those labels, And so it's like endless when you start thinking about compounding consequences of just buying something in a package, right? And the difference it would make for a handful of the population to think about that as they're buying groceries. So it's like those changes in our consciousness, right? And this is just a mundane change. This isn't even how you interact with people, how you're able to communicate. How you're able to, tell people the truth and forgive and, try to move on. We're not even talking about that, right? This is just transformational stuff on very mundane levels, right? Just thinking about the impact environmentally, positively that could have if people just start making small changes within themselves. There's compounding effects. So, yes, we're starting to witness the transformational changes within us. And underneath the shaman, we have the feminine king of wands. Now, in this particular deck, in the court cards, in each suit, there is a king and a queen, but there's also an additional character, which is the feminine king. And to me, this is symbolic of the successful union of the masculine and feminine energies within that suit and the element and the virtues connected to that element or whatever in the suit. So in this particular case, there would be an implication that there has been a certain level of self-mastery within the suit of wands that has gotten us to this feminine King of Wands. The wand suit is all about our passion, our willpower, our drive, like our inner fire. But it's also about our sense of self and our self-confidence and knowing who we are, and also our spirit, and our trust in spirit and our connection with spirit. And so this is saying, like, yeah, because of our long-term, devotion to evolving on a soulful level, on a spiritual level, we become this integrated, version of self, and we've hit this level of mastery. And because of that, the feminine King of Wands is like insanely magnetic and a magnetic leader, right? Very influential person, very passionate about, what this person does, and knows how to tackle any challenge or troubleshoot any situation, right? So yes, this is like saying, like, we're spiritually very equipped to move forward into this next chapter of our life. And we're very equipped with our energy and our self-confidence and our self-assuredness to go forward and be really magnetic and be the leader of our life. And so we're having this awakening of self. And so this particular self is talking about that higher self, where we're kind of observing, like, our consciousness is kind of connected to that higher consciousness within. And I don't know if you've ever, heard people talk about, like, pondering, like, the self that observes the self that observes the self. And so the higher self right now, it's like we're kind of connecting in with that. And we're having these moments where we're becoming kind of self-realized within the moments. And we're like, oh, wow. And you're kind of observing yourself in your own progress in a kind of a detached way. But you're like, wow, I'm really handling this like differently than I used to. And you're sort of like seeing the progress, but like really embodying it now. And I say that because it's like this awakening of self is also connected here with the Knight of Wands, which is, again, a continuation of that suit of this fiery, passionate, like life force vitality. And so the Knight of Wands is like very courageous, and they can take a leap of faith in the dark, and jump through hoops to make their goals come true, to make their dreams happen. But this does take an element of impulsivity and risk and willingness to just take the leap and like see what happens. And so I love that this is an equestrian rider. So she's a very skilled rider. It's not that she's just jumped on a horse and like ran into the night. Like, she knows what she's doing. She has the skills to do this. So this is, again, saying like we've gone through a lot of healing. We've gone through a lot of transformation. And so we're becoming very equipped in this sort of journey of self-discovery. And so, yeah, it's becoming a little bit more natural for us to be able to pause and use our free will to decide like what kind of life that we are creating as we are going into this new chapter going forward, and like who we want to be in it, and like, what we want to, feel and see and do and accomplish and create and experience and whatnot. And so I think the universe is really giving us a nod that like we're able to start stepping up and being intentional, conscious co-creators with spirit, because the creator card came up next. And so the creator is like the ability to take nothing and make something from it. The creator can take very little resources, but make something opulent and ornate and beautiful from it. It's taking that chaos from the void and pulling it out and shaping it and molding it and focusing it into something that can contain structure and form. And I love it because it's connected with the Queen of Cups, which is the water element. And I couldn't help but notice the connection with watercolor. It's like, in order to release the color, in order to release the power of paint, of watercolor, it's a solid, but it needs that water to open it up, to soften it, and to be able to spread it around and create something of beauty. And so, yeah, it's like the watercolor solid pigment is like this sort of hardened, very grounded, very guarded version of what's the potential being held. And so it's only when our heart opens up and the flow of our feeling and emotion can go through that water can soften the pigments and let them become inky, right? And so the Queen of Cups is very empathic and very sensitive and very in her feelings and very nurturing, and people go to her for advice and for insight. And so, sometimes the queen has to remind herself to actually take care of the self, because she's usually taking care of other people. But I mean, the card points out that she's underwater and she's got this little seahorse holding it lovingly. And one thing that stood out to me about the seahorse was that the seahorse, I remember I saw a million years ago on Discovery Channel. It was for Father's Day weekend, I think, or Mother's Day weekend. I felt like it was Father's Day weekend. They were showing the world's most amazing male animals. And I remembered that the male seahorse either breastfeeds the children or actually gives birth. Maybe both. So there's something too, again, about the balancing of these masculine and feminine energies and being able to integrate them within us. But yeah, totally, the queen is the Queen of Cups. She's the queen of the heart, the emotions. But also she's super psychic and super empathic. And so, some of the readings that we've been having lately have just been highlighting the power of the imagination and the power of our feelings, right? That it's the feelings in the heart that are magnetic, that activate the law of attraction. So it's our thoughts, our imagination, and the words that we use that sort of put the order out into the universe. But it's the feeling within our heart that makes us magnetic and makes us attract what's in resonance with what's radiating that feeling in our heart. So yeah, it's a lot of really positive, great energy, a lot of creator energy, a lot of healing, a lot of transformation, and a lot of awakening of self. So yeah, it's going to be a good week, I think. I think it's going to be a positive, fun week, and I hope that you guys have a positive and fun week. I know that there is a little bit of sternness coming in on the heels of that Capricorn full moon, because it's asking you to kind of look at your dreams, your goals and visions, and weigh them against what you want and how you want to feel and what's practical. And so how do you cut the fat and put your focus on what you really, really want and what you want to grow, or even just knowing a practical approach to doing that. So Capricorn is the disciplinary, structured planet that has a grounded, solid action plan, very practical, very, very productive. So yeah, we might be, really getting into a very productive and inspired and feeling we have a lot of clarity and direction. The feminine King of Wands has a lot of clarity and direction with her passion. And so I think that that's helping us get this maturity of this energy where we can really figure out how we want to direct it. All right, y'all. Y'all be good, but not too good. And have a good 4th of July if you're in the U.S. And if you are out of the country, out in the rest of the world, I hope that you have a good 4th of July too. And go have a nice little hot dog and a party and a beer. All right, ciao.